Hey there!
Hello.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Mackenzie. Most people call me the Pokemon Professor. Want to be a winner as you?
Yes, I do.
Welcome to the Route to Victory Road, a podcast that chronicles our journeys to the main series titles of the Pokemon franchise. I'm joined today, as always, by my wonderful partner and co-host, Jaylee.
Hello, you started very chill and nonchalant. And just one of those, calm, mindful relaxation podcasts.
Very demure.
This is not that. No. Our podcast is anything but demure.
Or mindful.
That's okay, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how to start this. I guess we're taking a bit of a sidebar from our journey and going to do a catch-up.
Yeah, we didn't get far enough this week. We only got to Dragon Spiral Tower, where we met the first legendary dragon.
Yep. But we could talk about that next week.
But we can talk about that next week. But we will talk about that a little bit this week, because today we're going to be talking about the series in general.
Sure.
Our experience with the series.
Okay.
I was going to say your experience, but it's our journey.
Don't put this all on me.
It's our journey so far. That's what I'm going to title it. The journey so far.
Sounds like something Bilbo Baggins would write.
Yeah, exactly. There and back again.
We haven't even got there yet, so don't rush it.
No, I won't. We don't have to. Are you ready to talk about Pokemon? The first thing that I want to talk about is the art direction and how it's changed over the last few games. So we have obviously the first generation of games where Pikachu was a tubby little mouse. You remember? He was so cute. I should have created a little slideshow. I'm sorry, but
That's okay. This is a podcast and we're not recording video. So
no, I know, but it would have been helpful for us to have a little visual guide. He was a cute little boy.
He was very different for sure.
A very different little guy. And then we go into Gen 2 where it's the art at least is more in line with what we know as Pokemon art today.
Right.
Obviously, so many Pokemon changed from Generation 1 to Generation 2. The art in Generation 1, you look at some of them and you're like, what the hell is that even supposed to be? Vulpix or Coughing. They just look so different to their modern day counterparts.
Games?
Yeah, in the games.
Oh, okay.
Don't you remember Blue and Red?
Yeah,
they were
it was just little pixels.
Yeah.
There wasn't very much to them.
And everything looked so weird and kind of melted a little bit.
That's a good way to describe it.
And then we get to Generation 2 and then things are okay, now everything looks like it's supposed to.
They start filling out.
Yeah, or at least in our modern sensibilities, it all looks like what it's supposed to look like. Generation 3 was the update to Game Boy Advance. That was Ruby and Sapphire and Fire Red and Leaf Green. And so we had obviously a graphical update because we were making the leap from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance. And we also had a difference in art style because we were in Hoenn, and Hoenn introduced a whole swaggle of new characters.
Swaggle.
Yeah, we got that's the generation that we got Swellow and we got Zigazaka. And Ludicolo.
When they started branching out.
Groudon, those were when that game came out, people were these are not Pokemon.
Yeah, that's where the trouble started. Okay. It was just downhill from there.
But it's interesting because nowadays you look at something like a Shiftry or a Maractus. Wait,
What?
not Maractus. Maractus is this game. A Cacturn. And you're oh yeah, that's Pokemon. Shiftry. Shiftry was one of the he had the green fans.
I don't know.
I
feel like the generation we're in now is at the peak, I don't know, my peak of worst Pokemon I've ever seen in my life.
That's Shiftry.
That's gross.
Yeah, but like back then when we first saw him, it was like, what the hell is that? That's not a Pokemon. But now it's like, yeah, that's kind of a Pokemon.
That looks more like a Pokemon than half of this generation.
And that's kind of what I'm leading up to. It's like Generation 4, they all looked like Pokemon.
They really did. They weren't as complex. I feel like this generation is like way more complex. And they're just getting weirder and more things are hanging off their limbs or their bodies or their heads or something is just out of proportion and not right.
And they tried to make them more complicated so that they could play with the new art style, which is like 2.5D. Like it's not a 2D drawing, right? It's like a quote unquote 3D thing. It's like got like joints that articulate, right? Like everything is always kind of like moving, sort of. You know what I mean?
I think they went a little bit overboard with that one Pokemon that's like got the head and then the bunch of feathers hanging down from it.
The Pokemon with the head and the feathers hanging down from it.
Yeah, it starts with an S.
Sigilyph.
Yeah, that.
Sigilyph,
I think they went a little bit overboard with that. That's just too much.
Yeah.
That's not a Pokemon.
He's supposed to look like I almost called it Aztec for the second time. The Nazca line drawing of a hummingbird. I'll show you.
I think we've talked about this before, maybe not on the podcast, but I just think that's not a Pokemon. When I think Pokemon, I want to see something that I could have as a pet.
Right.
Like my dog or my cat or an iguana. You know, something cutesy. Not like cutesy, but like just more like real.
Right.
You remember Neopets? I know that's making a comeback now, but that's what I think Pokemon should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go back on my Neopets. Oh my gosh.
You want Pokemon to be more like Neopets?
Well, the look of them. Because Neopets, you could definitely bring any of those home, and they're cute and cuddly.
Sure.
And I really think that's what Pokemon should have stayed at. I feel like with Generation 1, they were really just simple and cute and more animalistic, and now they're just getting too far.
What are some of the Pokemon designs that you do like in this game?
Because there are some that I do like. I haven't found a favorite. I wouldn't say I don't have a favorite of this generation yet, but I do like some of them. Let me see. I have the Pokédex in order. Oh no, I don't want to go in order. Victini's kind of cute, but it's still weird to me. Like, it's not as cute. And then, like, Lillipup and the cat ones are too close to being a cat and a dog. So they... I know, I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but I'm like, okay. I want them to look like our pets, but not like a cat and a dog.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't like the monkeys. I don't like the psychic puff of
Tapir,
air.
yeah.
Or the Muna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it's a tapir. It's just like a type of animal.
Yeah. I love Blitzel and the crocodile one.
Yeah, Sandile.
But again, too close to animals. I mean, I love them, but that one's clearly a zebra and clearly a crocodile. So just make them a little bit different, but don't go overboard. What are some other ones I like? I don't know. The nasty, the centipede one.
Whirlipede.
No.
Or Scolipede.
Yeah, that one is disgusting. Should not be a Pokemon. That's gross. If you're going to do that, I mean, like, Onyx looks better than that thing.
Sure.
I don't know. The more I just kind of go down the Pokedex, the worse they get.
Yeah.
The little mouse, the Minccino.
Yeah, Minccino and Cinccino.
Yeah. I think, no, Cinccino's a little bit weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Minccino, I think, would be, like, my ideal Pokemon of this generation.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we get into the ice creams, and it's just too weird. And, like, the fungus that looks like a Pokeball. No.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. And Clink... What the heck is up with Clink? Why did they make a gear into a Pokemon? That's not a pet. I don't want that in my house.
Voltorb is like a Pokeball.
Voltorb's kind of cool, though.
But I mean, it's an object that got turned into a Pokemon.
But not like a little gear. That's just stupid. Cubchoo, almost cute.
Almost
Except
cute?
for this snot ball.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Right.
And then the rest of them...
It just misses being cute.
Yeah, the rest have too much going on. Like, it almost hurts my eyes to look at them.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm going to stop looking at the Pokedex because I don't want to look...
You don't want to spoil yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have any favorites of this
Yeah, I do.
horrendous generation?
I really like Superior and Embor. Samurot's okay, but could have been cooler. Those are the 3 final evolutions of the starters.
I don't like any of the starters.
I
First to final, like, I don't know. They're not starters. They're just they're too complex.
Sure. I like that. So Superior is based on European nobility.
Okay.
And then Embor is based on a character named Changfei from Chinese. Well, I mean, I say a character, but he was a real life person from Chinese history. There we go. I kept almost saying mythology. But he's a real person who existed in Chinese history during something called the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, or the Three Kingdoms period of China. Okay. And he was a powerful warrior. And so that's what Embor is based on. And what do you think of Embor, by the way? Being that that is your selected starter.
I haven't got there.
Oh, no, not yet?
No, he's still not evolved.
He didn't evolve yet?
No, I haven't really been using him. Like, I don't love
Sure, so
starter.
but Pignite then.
I haven't boxed him yet.
I haven't boxed mine yet either.
Okay, good.
But your
Pignite, I mean, he's okay. He just learned a new move, so I'm excited to kind of try him out a little bit. Like, I think I used him more this last week than I have in the last couple of months.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's got an XP share slapped on him just so he grows up.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, he's okay. He's no Charizard.
But he's got a little wrestling singlet on.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
I do like the wrestling pig.
Yeah.
That is cute. But he's no Charizard.
And then Samurott is obviously a samurai. Mm-hmm. So you got Japanese, Chinese, and European cultures being represented, and I think that's kind of cool.
That's kind of neat. I never realized that.
Yeah. I love Stoutland. I've loved
big dog.
Yeah, I've loved Stoutland since I got this generation. Stoutland was one of my Pokemon. Superior and Stoutland were on my first team ever in Black and White.
Cute.
I also had a Stoutland in Sun and Moon. But anyway, I like Stoutland. He's cool.
Okay.
And cute. Love Zebstrika. Zebstrika was on my team the first time through.
So strong. I love it.
I like Excadrill. It's a cool one. I think these are like really good decisions that they made to add to the roster. Leavanny's cool. I like Scolipede. I know you said you didn't.
I do not.
I like Scolipede because it is a powerful poison type, and like up to this point, we really didn't have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's fast, and I'm saying he, but obviously.
I know.
Yeah.
It just scares me.
It's fast and it's strong,
It's
and
just
that's
a little bit scary for me.
that's fair. Crocodile.
Yeah.
Obviously, that shit was on my team.
Of course.
It isn't this time around because I didn't want to steal from your light.
Oh, you totally can. Everybody should have one.
It's so cool.
Like, they should just give these things away.
I love Crocodile.
Like, you get a crocodile, and you get a crocodile.
Darmanitan, I
is.
didn't like when I first... It's like a fire monkey. Darmanitan I didn't like when I first played the game, but I like grew to like later, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Scrafty I like. He's based off of like punks from like British punks.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Or maybe Japanese punks too. I don't know. It's cool. Yeah, Minchino, like you said.
Yeah.
Love Minchino.
Cute, right?
I even like Chinchino. I know that Chinchino looks like Minchino got into a bag of fluff, but I like Chinchino. It's cute. I like Reuniclus in practice, but not in aesthetic.
Okay, that's fair. It's a weird little thing.
Yeah, it's very strong, but it's very slow.
It's like a huggy bug.
But again, if I were to like have my choice of psychics, it would not be Reuniclus. It would probably be Alakazam, because Alakazam is as strong, but way faster. The only thing Reuniclus is bulky.
Oh.
And strong in special attack, but Alakazam doesn't need bulk when it outspeeds everything.
Yeah, Alakazam, mind you, is the greatest thing to ever happen.
Sorry. Alakazam.
Thank you.
Ducklet is amazing. Swanna is kind of weird.
Okay.
But I love Ducklet, and I've always loved Ducklet. It's just so cute. I wish it evolved into something better. Sawsbuck, Deerling and Sawsbuck, amazing. Amazing.
I don't know what a Sawsbuck is. Are we just going through the Pokedex?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's
Sawsbuck. I haven't seen one.
Yeah, it's the evolved form of Deerling.
It's still, like, when you look at this thing, it looks like too much.
Like a reindeer?
Deerling is cute. Yeah, but Sawsbuck looks like it's decked out in Christmas decorations. Or is it flowers? I can't
It's
tell.
flowers.
Why?
It's
Why do they need to put
seasonal
flowers on a Pokemon?
It's a seasonal Pokemon, so it changes with the seasons. So if it's springtime, it's got flowers. If it's summer, it's got like leaves. If it's fall, then it's got like dying leaves, like the red and the brown and the yellow. And then if it's winter, then it doesn't have anything, but all of its like its décolletage
I would rather take away the
like
décolletage and just like maybe change its coat a different color per season.
It does change the coat.
Okay, well that's cool, but take away the crap on his antlers.
You're saying that's too complicated?
Yeah, I'm reinventing Pokemon right now.
Oh, I see. Well, I like Sawsbuck, and I love Deerling.
I think I'm gonna draw the ones that I hate into what they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joltik and Galvantula, perfect. No notes. I wouldn't change them except make them a little stronger, probably. Mm. But they're awesome. They're adorable, and I love their typing, which is Electric Bug. Mm-hmm. And they're awesome. Tynamo, amazing. But Electric is scary. And Electros is even scarier. It looks like something you would not want to meet.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about these ones. They terrify me.
In the depths. But he is very powerful, and I used it on my team as well, along with Zebstrika. So Zebstrika and Electros were on my team. And I won't go any further than that, but like... So
you like a lot more of them than I do.
A lot of Pokemon. But, of course, there are ones that it's like, what the hell are you doing? Watchog, for example. Watchog, no. No thank you. Cryogonal, absolutely not.
Yeah, there was a lot of questionable choices in this Pokedex.
So many things didn't make sense. Like Cryogonal, for example, it's basically just Glalie, but in the new generation. Alomomola. Alomomola is
disc,
another
right?
Love Disc.
That's the Love Disc one?
Yeah, it's like we already had a Love Disc. We didn't need a Alomomola. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like they should have cut this Pokedex in half. Because then I would have caught them all.
Well, if they cut this Pokedex in half and then like let in specific ones from the past 4 generations. There's been 4 generations, guys. You could have let in some of them. Like, I understand that this was supposed to be like kind of like a soft reset for Pokemon.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah. I feel like they didn't need to add, like you said, Clink, Clang, and Clink, Clang.
Wait, how many of those are there?
Clink.
Yeah.
Clang.
Yeah.
And Clink, Clang.
Oh my god, you said 3 different Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Clink, Clang and its line are weird. And they don't get useful until like Generation 8. So what was the point in introducing them here?
Yeah, I don't want them. Take them away.
I don't think that New York is particularly known for its like machinery. Does
it represent New York?
Unova does. Oh, Unova is supposed to be like the New York region, right?
Okay.
So, like ice cream, sure. I don't think ice cream was invented in New York.
Pizza. I mean, pizza's not Your hot dogs? Like, what do you eat in New York? Hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
sure.
there's no hot dog Pokemon.
Falafel.
There's no Broadway Pokemon. Is there a theater Pokemon? No. Like, what else is in New York? There's no Apple Pokemon.
No.
There should be a big Apple Pokemon.
Yeah, and there is eventually Generation 8.
Oh.
There is an Apple Pokemon, but
Of course there is. I am not surprised.
actually, technically, it's a worm in an apple.
What?
Yeah,
Fuck.
but we'll get there.
Oh, I don't want to. It's okay. We can take our time.
And there's so many other ones. Oh, I forgot to talk about another one called Bisharp. I love Bisharp. Anyway,
Sharp.
there's so many other ones that it's like, just why does this exist? You know, like the simmies, the monkeys. Mm-hmm. What the hell are you guys doing? That is so embarrassing and so weird. Not a fan of Unfezant. I don't like Gigalith, and I don't like the Machamp one.
Throw and suck?
No, Girder, Timber, Girder,
I hate
Conkeldurr.
Timber.
Conkeldurr is
What the heck is a Conkeldurr?
that's the final evolution in that line, and just no thanks. I don't like that line.
Why are they holding wood anyway? Like, Pokemon should be an animal, not a piece of wood. Not have a piece of wood. Anyway.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Is it born with that wood?
Yeah,
I don't
where does the wood
understand.
come
Yeah.
from?
Roggenrola is fine. It's a geode. It's cute. I like Roggenrola. I don't like Boldore. I hate Gigalith.
Fair. I don't think anybody disagrees with you.
Don't like Woobat or Swoobat.
You loved Swoobat.
Swoobat is a little cute.
Because of the
Woobat,
heart nose.
absolutely not.
I thought you loved Swoobat because I think if you listen back to like the last 3 or 4 episodes, I think every episode you're like, "What do you think of Swoobat?" I swear you asked me at least 3 times in that voice.
I did, because I wanted to know if you thought it was gross, because I think it's gross.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's like a little fluff ball with a heart nose and wings.
It's yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. It's weird.
It's okay for me.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
This is my Tentacruel and you're fine with it?
This is your Tentacruel?
Okay, well, not quite.
No.
Not quite,
This
not
is
quite.
not your Tentacruel.
It's not my Tentacruel. I was just kidding.
Swoobat, I mean, if you picture a Swoobat as fluffy instead of, like, gross and matted, which it kind of looks like as well, too. If you picture him just, like, fresh out of the bath and, like, you know, that poofy, like...
Yeah, like
dries.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, and
Aww.
if you think that his nose isn't, like, wet and slimy...
Right.
Then, yeah, I think he's a little bit cute. But
is
only
cute.
under those circumstances. Like a freshly washed Swoobat.
Sock and Throw, I'm fine with. They're kind of like Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, they're strong. They're
Yeah,
like, meh.
they're strong and they're Bert and Ernie.
That's fair.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
I don't hate them. I don't love them, but like I'm not upset by their existence. Seismitoad is cool. I forgot to mention him on my way through. I don't like Palpitoad, but I love Timple and I love Seismitoad. They're cool.
Okay.
Well, Seismitoad is just strong. That's why I like him. And Timple is cute. And that's why I like him. Don't like Palpitoad. Palpitoad is gnarly and not very, very powerful.
Yeah, kind of weird.
And then, like Whimsicott and Lilligant, meh.
They're kind of weird.
Yeah, don't like them. Don't like Basculin. I basically just don't like the fish of this region.
I don't like the fish Pokemon of anywhere.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much further than this, but I don't hate Trubbish or Garbodor because they're basically just the Grimer and Muck of this region. They're almost like a regional variant of Grimer and Muck. So I don't really care. I know a lot of people they use that as like they ran out of creativity in Generation 5 because they had ice cream and literal garbage. And it's like I don't know. They ran out of creativity on a lot of Pokemon. There was a Pokemon named Seal. Sorry. That's Generation 1.
The spelling is different, okay?
Well, yeah, okay, well, he's just a seal with a little horn on his head.
He's cute.
He is cute.
That's what a Pokemon should be.
Don't get me wrong, but he's literally just a animal.
Bring back Seal.
Hashtag justice for seal.
Yes.
Anyway, we've talked about Pokemon designs for a long time, but let's talk about the art direction of everything else, like the towns and your character. Like, everything is different from the last games. The last games were Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and things still looked pretty much the same as they had up to this point. But now we got our first scrolling vistas, you know, like the actual New York, the Manhattan town, Castelia City.
Yeah, the big cities are really, really fun. I was really surprised when we first walked on the bridge and it started moving and things just looked really different,
right?
And immersive almost. And
yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, okay, things are moving around me. This is really neat. And then when you get to the big city, it has streets and it has 1 million people and 1 million places to go in, and you can go down the alleys and just, it's a way different experience than just walking this grid from the first game.
Right.
I don't know. It felt really cool. Like, it felt like a huge change.
Right, yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. Like, it really feels different, and I love that change. That's probably the best part of this game series to me, is that change from, like, the kind of flat feeling past couple generations. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it was like a big jump from Generation 2 to Generation 3 and from 3 to 4, but everything was still flat. All of the city you could pretty much see in one plane.
Yeah.
And now you can't. You wouldn't, like, you could technically do it, but it's not like printing a map of the city would make a whole lot of sense, like, as it is. Like, if you printed out frame by frame each part of the city of almost said Lumios, Castelia City, and laid that out like you could the other cities from the past games, it wouldn't make as much visual sense as it does when you're walking through it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a really good way of putting it. You really feel like you're walking through the cities and towns and the forests in this game.
Because there's, like, so much perspective to this game, more than just the one just linear perspective of the last couple of games. And that's such a cool change, and I'm glad that they made it. And I'm glad that they sort of continue it
Does
as well.
it stick around?
Yeah, because next games we make the leap to true 3D. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Generation 6. So yes, be prepared for more cool things that they do with the art direction.
You mentioned the character too, though. So I found
Yes.
like our characters went from just a little blob.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of little blobs put on top of each other, to actually like full characters, and their movement is different and they look around a lot more.
Right. And also the character designs are a lot more intricate and interesting. And this is also the first time that we play almost adults too. They're 16, 17 as opposed to 10.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of cool, because it's like, it's like almost a different kind of story. We're not kids who are just going on an adventure because our parents want us out of the house for the summer. It's like we're adults who are being given, not exactly adults, but we're like we were like, I don't know, when you were a teen, I don't know if you ever went on like little adventures, like a road trip, for example. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Is like late high school. It's like, hey, everybody, get in a car. Let's go to whatever.
Yeah.
Another province.
It's like without your parents.
Yeah.
Just with your friends. And
yeah,
things.
exactly.
Yeah.
And because Sharon and Bianca are always there.
Always there.
It's like you're on a road trip with your friends, except you're walking. But but that's what it feels like, right? Like you're going cross country, but with your friends and a professor and also a bad guy team. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a different perspective. And it's neat to me. That is neat to me.
I feel like with that, the rivals and the characters, there's so much more backstory and almost kind of like trauma
Yeah.
added to this one.
Right.
Like with our characters, there's not enough backstory, but with everybody else, you learn so much about them. And even like little dark sides and secrets to them that it's like, oh, wow, this is really building depth to this game and to the relationships, which was not there in the past games. There was a little bit, you could feel some like tension or some friendship between characters, but not as much as this one. Like N is so weird and mysterious to me, and I really love that character. Bianca, as much as she annoys the heck out of me, I understand that she's got like family issues and I like sympathize for this character. Sharon, I mean, he's a little bit weird. He's really annoying and persistent. But like you build that bond with these characters that weren't there in the first couple games.
So all three of them, and this is like Nintendo meant to do this because they're trying to make this like a more mature setting, a more mature story for like, because they knew that their fans were getting older. Like I was 22. No. Yeah, 22 when this game came out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 2011 is when this game
that was
came out.
Forever ago.
Yeah. So all three characters kind of have their own way of displaying insecurity.
Okay.
Right?
How?
So Bianca doesn't trust in herself. She is always the last one to go somewhere. Ever since you helped her out in Castelia, she's been trying to get stronger, but she's so worried about failing her journey and proving her dad right. And she tells you that a few times. And her dad obviously catches up in Nimbasa and like is like, hey, you've done it, you failed, come home, and stuff like that, until Alessa stands up for her and is like, hey, old man, piss off, right?
I don't remember that part.
Well, she basically does,
I know,
right?
I know.
She's like, hey, Bianca, like, don't listen to your old man. You can do it. Believe in yourself and stuff like that. And like, even still now, to this moment that we're playing, where we're getting to Dragonspire Tower and stuff like that, she doesn't trust herself to go. She's like, Dash is gonna go. Dash will do this. Dash is my character.
Right,
but player character is gonna go do this. I will stay here. And it's like, she's holding back because she's so afraid of failing. Right? And that's insecurity 1. Insecurity 2 is Sharon, who keeps being told that he's enough, but he keeps not believing it. You know, like Alder saying, hey man, chill out. You don't have to push yourself so hard. And Sharon being like, player character, you go on ahead. I have to stay here and train because I wasn't strong enough to hold back Team Plasma and you were. Like, I am not enough. Sharon keeps saying to himself, I am not enough. And to us, I am not enough. I need to be more. Right? Even though everyone else is like, guy, chill. It's fine. Like, you will get stronger. You just have some patience for yourself. And then N is the goddamn king of Team Plasma. And he's like, wow, I've got destiny hanging over my head. Like, I have to live up to Getsus's idea, like his plan for me. And he's doing everything he can to like create this perfect scenario of this destiny. He's the first rival to encourage you to best him, essentially, right? Like, he's so supportive, but like also like, you are not going to change my path, but I need you to step up to become the challenge that is necessary for me to like fulfill my destiny. And that's like a really cool thing because like Blue is like, oh, fuck you, loser. You're never going to be as strong as me. And N is like, I need you to become as strong as me because you are necessary to my future. And that's like a really weird but cool story. And like you go on a date with him and stuff like that on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
That's meant for couples or whatever. And he's like, hey, like our destinies are intertwined and I really care for you as a person and I need you to be the person I know you can be and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, you are super like supportive to be like my main rival and
There's
like the bad guy.
There's a lot of inspiration in this game that you would totally overlook if you just surface playing it as a kid.
Yeah.
But it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's really neat to dig into and be like, oh wow, that was actually like what this NPC said was really inspiring. And yeah, it's very thought-provoking. It's insane.
But he's got all those pressures of having to fulfill this destiny, so he is also an insecurity, right? Mm-hmm. Like all three of them kind of have their own insecurities that they're sharing with you, and it's really neat because like as a player, maybe you have those same insecurities in your life, and it's like, wow, okay, this is like kind of really speaking to me. And yeah, it's neat. And like you said, this game is very inspirational. Lots of people say inspirational shit to you. Yeah. Bianca, Sharon, and Juniper, which, by the way, we can talk about as well. The first female professor. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. It's neat that they did that. Not the last time that they'll do it either, so that's nice. But Cedric Juniper, also. Alder, the champion, he also is giving you inspiration and stuff like that. It's really
like
neat.
Even some of the Team Plasma grunts are like...
Yeah. Even some NPCs, right? Like, NPCs are like, hey, use the time that's given to you. You can't take back time that you've wasted and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's neat. I don't know. It's a cool game. Overall, I really, really like Gen 5. The constantly moving Pokemon and stuff like that, not a huge fan of, honestly.
What do you mean?
Not a huge fan. Like
during the battles?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have to be doing something. I find it distracting.
Me too.
I'm trying to focus on something and then everything's always moving. Yeah, I agree.
And all of the attacks and stuff like that, like you can tell what direction they were trying to head in, but they didn't either take it far enough or maybe the tech just wasn't there for them to push it just that little extra way, but it's not quite there. Like, I would have preferred if they just kept the effects from Generation 4, honestly, and maybe, like, gussied them up a little bit, but, like, fire attacks and stuff like that and lightning attacks, they look so... late 2000s After Effects-y. Like, it looks cheesy in some cases, and in other cases it's just like, what, that's my attack? What? Why?
Yeah.
But like, I do get what they were going for, but it didn't land for me personally. I think that the attack effects look weak and the constant need to move the characters is weird.
I think that's weird too.
Yeah. And speaking about other changes that I didn't like, UI elements, so like the way that we as the player interact with the game. In the last games, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, your menu was constantly on the bottom screen, as were your items that you registered to in your bag.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could register up to 2 items and they would just appear there on the bottom screen at all times, and you had the constant run button, right? Mm-hmm. You could hit a button and then you'd always be running.
Yeah.
You didn't have to think about it or hold the B button down. They got rid of that in this game for something called the X transceiver. And the X transceiver, whatever, it was a fine idea. It wasn't a great idea. It was a fine idea. It was a way for you to connect with other players. We've talked about the X transceiver before. You could use it as kind of like a walkie-talkie with other DSs. Because DSs at this time, DSIs and stuff like that, and DS Lites, they had microphones built into them.
Okay.
So you could talk to your friends, I guess, over short distances.
Sure.
I don't think it could go... I think it was intercontinental. I don't think it was extracontinental, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I think you could, if you were in Vancouver, you could probably talk to someone in Ontario, but you probably couldn't talk to somebody in Egypt. I don't think, but I might be wrong about that. My point is like, it's fine. It's okay. It's whatever. And also it was like a way for you to connect as well, and like trade Pokemon. You could do that without using the little places in the Pokemon Center.
We haven't traded a Pokemon yet this game, have we?
We haven't, no.
No. So I don't know if there's a difference or what the difference would be.
And we could try it. And we could try it with the X transceiver if you want.
We have to trade a Pokemon.
But so the global link was fine. But that could have been an item in our bag. It didn't have to take up the bottom screen.
No.
Especially now that those servers are dead and now that screen is pointless, right? Like turning on the X transceiver doesn't do anything. We can't trade with anyone across the planet.
Every time I start up,
yeah.
Do you want to turn this on?
The Sea Gear. And
I was
it's
like,
no.
yeah. And it's like, oh, never mind. It won't work. I'm like, oh my God, my ass.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
It's silly.
Fix it.
So it was already like a middling thing when it came out, and now it's pointless.
Yeah.
So it's like, this could have been real estate that you used for the same thing you did in the last game, and this is such a backpedal to me. It's the second worst backpedal in the game, other than one that we're going to experience in 2 generations.
Okay.
They do 3rd generation remakes in Generation 6, and in that generation, or in those games, sorry, in the remakes of Generation 3, they come out with something, the nav decks, like you've got like a little Pokegear, and they've got something called the nav decks on it, and the nav decks lets you know when you've caught every Pokemon in an area that you're in. That's
that would
amazing.
be helpful. Yeah.
That's awesome. What a cool feature that we never see again, ever. That's
so strange that they would introduce it. I remember you talking about this. Why would they introduce it, and then if it was really amazing, and then they just take it away?
It's the worst backpedal in the Pokemon series, if you ask me. What a weird thing to omit from future games. It was such a cool feature, and it was like so useful, especially if you're, experiencing a game for the first time. Like when you and I get to Generation 9.
Or trying to complete a Pokédex.
That'll be the first time that you and I ever experience that. So imagine if you had like a little thing that was like, hey, you found literally every Pokemon here. You can move on now.
You can go. Yeah.
If you're trying to experience everything in a game, like that's the way to do it. Is to like tell somebody when they've experienced everything there is to experience. Like it even lets you know if there's like secret Pokemon, because you'll get stages of medal for the area. So if you catch all the Pokemon that there are in the grass, you get a bronze medal. And if you catch all the Pokemon that there are in the grass, in the trees, and in the water, because those are like the places that you can find Pokemon, then you get a silver medal. But if you find all the rare Pokemon as well, you get a gold medal. And then you're like, okay, I've got the gold medal. That means I've caught every Pokemon there is to catch in this like section of the game.
That's cool.
And then they were like, let's never include it again.
Never mind.
And it's like, why? What's wrong with that feature? Anyway, that's the worst backpedal in history, but this one's a close second.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that they should have left the menu in the bottom screen at all times.
I think so too. I get very lost in the menus in the backpack of this one.
Right.
Like I wish it was a little bit simpler.
Yeah. And it could have been simple because it was simple in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It was just like, oh, I'm walking down the street, there's the bag button, open the bag, use a potion, or whatever, right? Like it was so nice and easy. And if they have the X transceiver on all the time or whatever, at least have the option for us to put that menu on the bottom screen. Removal of features is never the plan, game developers. You never want to remove features. If anything, you add features and give options. That's just my 2 cents. That goes way beyond Pokemon too. There's so many game series that will, like, in the sequels, they'll, like, remove features. And it's like, don't ever remove things. That doesn't make sense. add more stuff, and then give the options to turn stuff on and off. That's all you gotta do.
It would be nice.
Don't take stuff out. Doesn't make sense. It is completely pointless, and it's backpedaling, and you're getting rid of all the work that you did. Anyway, Team Plasma. What do you think of the new bad guy team?
There's a lot of them.
A lot of them.
And they're everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
Team Rocket was, but they were a little bit sprawled out. You know, they were kind of behind the scenes of things. I feel like Team Plasma, they are the scene. Wherever you go, there's always Team Plasma. But I don't know. They're not Team Rocket. Nobody's ever Team Rocket. N is really cool. I really like that character. But the rest of Team Plasma...
But he's no mysterious 8th gym leader.
I mean, I like him better than the mysterious 8th gym leader.
Oh, cool.
He's really cool. I really like this character. I'm excited to see the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of Plasma?
Yeah. I like Plasma. I like that they're hypocrites. It's funny because it like kind of like plays into the mature theme of this game, that they would be like, oh, we're here to liberate all Pokemon by stealing them and keeping them for ourselves. It's just like, oh, right. Oh, okay. You're just
That's
liars.
a little bit of Team Rocket in them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is, right? It's like they are pretending to be like so noble,
Yeah.
and everything like that, but then they just turn out to be the crooks
They're
that
just Team Rocket.
yeah. Like let's talk about the previous teams. They are so much better than the goofballs that were Team Galactic.
Yeah, Team Galactic was not okay.
Like Team Galactic,
So boring.
literal terrorists, but
Yeah.
they were still goofy as hell. And then Team Aqua, Team Magma. What are we doing, guys? Like, this is not a plan. Neither one of you have a good
Let's
plan.
drown the world.
Or let's make no water left on the
Yeah.
planet. It's like, this is not good for Pokemon, guys.
Or people.
Or, well, yeah, and especially
anybody.
not for people. But,
They had a vision, though, and I really liked that in them.
yeah,
I didn't like them, but I like that they had a dream.
right.
Yeah. I like the bad guys. They all have dreams. They all have visions for a better world or a better evil world.
Except for Team Rocket. Team Rocket doesn't have a vision for a better world.
No,
they just want to steal Pokemon.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
And that's okay. 'Cause that would make a better world for them.
And Team Rocket 2.0, that just wants a mysterious 8th gym leader back in power. That's all they want. Mm-hmm. That's probably the worst team, except for maybe Magma and Aqua, is Team Rocket 2.0. But I still like that story of them like just trying so desperately to create a crime big enough that the mysterious 8th gym leader is like, oh, okay, I'll come out of hiding and start
Because
up.
because it's like the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
cute. It's like,
Rocket.
okay. All right. I feel that story.
Team Rocket.
It's just they are probably the most pathetic team.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
all they're doing
absolutely.
is they're like, boss, please come home.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about the professor. What do you think about Professor Juniper?
I liked that this was the first female professor. I really liked that. I feel like she's not as needy as Professor Oak. Professor Oak was very persistent and needing everything, or Oak, whatever his name was.
Yeah, Oak.
Yeah, Oak in the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one.
He was kind of like a parental figure to us. Or I find Juniper's not that. And I feel like we hear from other people before we hear from Juniper.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me because I feel like your professor should be there more.
I was going to say, Juniper is really the first one. No, I guess Rowan is the first one to get his hands dirty. But Juniper is like there. You know, she's present.
Yeah, rather than just phone calls
Right.
every once in a while. She does call you.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me, I haven't had a phone call in Pokemon in such a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
they'll probably call you again soon.
Probably. But yeah, she's more like, she shows up more.
Yeah, and she like I said, she's getting her hands dirty. She's there. She's in the trenches with you. Where, like, if you think back to, like, Birch and Elm, it's like the only time you ever saw them is when you went to go find them.
Yeah, or your mom tells you to go visit.
Yeah.
And then Juniper has a son that looks like a father.
A dad that looks like a son.
Looks like a kid. Yeah, okay. I always get those confused.
Cedric Juniper, also a professor.
Right. Weird.
Yeah, not the first time that they do this either, where they've got like a hand-me-down professor.
Hand-me-down. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think of the gyms?
I love the gyms.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like the gyms in this generation are my favorite so far.
Yeah.
Which is big for me to say. I actually like something in a Pokemon game. Woohoo. Congratulations, Pokemon. You impressed me. I really like the gyms because they're all so different and they all have different challenges, but they're not impossible.
Right.
The thing about, I think it was Generation 2 that I hated the most was how stupidly laid out the gyms were.
Sure.
And how confusing they were to me.
Right.
This time, I get it. Maybe it's because I have that experience now of 3 years of playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I really like the gyms. I like all the themes. They're all so different. And they're fun.
Yeah.
Like, they're fun.
They're neat.
Yeah.
The puzzles are cool.
There's a lot of trainers in them, which is good. But, like, I'm not running into problems because I'm using too strong of Pokemon. Which I'm so sorry if I've cheated throughout this whole game, but this is, I'm really enjoying this.
I'm glad.
Yeah. And I mean, like, my other Pokemon are strong enough to do it too, but I find by using these strong Pokemon, I have time to just kind of sit back and actually, like, go through the routes and just, like, talk to everybody and get things done, and I love it. Like, I'm having fun. I like the way this game looks, feels, the interactions, the stories. The gyms are so much fun.
That's good.
Is Victory Road and, like, is the Elite Four this fun, or is it the same?
The Elite Four, I think this is the generation where they get weird with it.
Okay, cool.
So
I like it when it gets weird. No spoilers.
Well, I'll give you just the one spoiler, and is that I think it's this generation. It doesn't have a set order that you go through them in.
Okay.
So you get to pick who you fight in what order.
Oh, that's different.
I'm pretty sure that's this generation that they start that.
I like that.
And then they keep that up until another generation, and then they revert for some reason. But whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Anyways, what do you think about the gyms?
I agree. I like the gyms. I like the gyms in 4 as well, but I really like the gyms in this one. Mm-hmm. The gyms in 4, like, to remind you, the ones that I'm talking about, like there was Fantina's gym where we were riding the elevators, and you had to, like, answer those questions. Mm-hmm. And if you got them wrong, you got to face a trainer, and if you got them right, you...
Okay, that was fun. I feel like that was a good basis for these gyms. Like, it was a good introduction, a little bit of a teaser, and they were like, oh, I think we're going to go with this direction more. Yeah.
But, I do like that these gyms are becoming more puzzling and less just like, follow this stupid path that doesn't make any sense.
And the visuals and the themes, like, I love it.
Yeah. Which gym, if you can remember, has been your favorite so far? So we had the cafe, which was just the quiz, right? Mm-hmm. And then we had the weird library puzzle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we had Berg's place, which was like the giant honeycomb that you had to, like, walk through the weird doors, the sticky doors. Weird. And there was, like, the little ninjas hiding in the honey or whatever, or the buttons.
Hey, it's me again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And then there was Alessa's gym, which was like the roller coasters that you really liked. Mm-hmm. You loved those roller coasters. Mm-hmm. And then we had the rockets that were firing us all over the place, the cannons.
Yep.
That one you liked less because you didn't realize you could, like, go in a different direction or something.
I didn't think we could go in.
Which is tricky. Which is tricky.
So it was tricky.
And then this most recent one was Price's, which was just kind of a straight line. Or not Price, sorry, Bryson.
Yeah. Well, it was the ice.
It was ice, but yeah, it was like, it was
still
pretty
had
much
to
a straight
figure it
line.
out. Yeah. My favorite was definitely the roller coasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alessa's gym is cool.
What's your favorite?
Probably Alessa's gym.
It's neat.
It is. And it's not like a hard puzzle or anything like that, but it's fun. It's cool. And it's visually very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The next gym is also cool. The one in Opelucid City.
Okay, no spoilers.
I won't tell you about it, but I also really, really like that they have a version difference in the gym leader.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited.
So you're going to face one trainer and I'm going to face a different one. And they don't do that again for some reason until Generation 8.
Okay.
But in Generation 8, they take it to the max and there's like 3 gym... No, maybe it's only 2 gyms. 2 gyms that are different. And I wish that they did that kind of stuff more because that's kind of neat. And then like what they could do is they could have like... We have different gym leaders or whatever, and then our Elite 4 members... 2 of them could be like the other 2 gym leaders that we didn't face, right?
That could be interesting.
So if like gym 4
Right.
and gym 6 are like, you have one person and I have a different, and then in the Elite 4, I have who you faced and you have who I faced.
That would be an idea.
That would be an idea, but we'll see. The last couple things that I wanted to talk to you about are, what do you think of the Pokemon Center and the Pokemart being together?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Convenience, right?
Convenient. It's so easy instead of trying to go through each town, finding the Pokemon Center and then finding the mart. Yep, love it.
Yeah.
That was a very good idea. Don't ever lose it.
I don't know if you've done this yet, but TMs. What do you think of TMs not being destroyed when you use them?
Love it. Yes, thank you. I would like to use things more than once,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that.
It opens up a lot of opportunity for you to like use the moves that you really like.
Yeah.
Like Scald, one of my favorite water moves, is a TM in this game, and I can use it on as many Pokemon as I can, except I don't have it on any Pokemon because Swanna had to learn Surf. Unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. The challenge of these games.
Like our challenges that we set?
No,
Oh, okay.
but sure. We can talk about that too.
I hate it. I hate catching Pokemon.
You hate catching Pokemon.
I hate catching Pokemon.
Why do you hate catching Pokemon?
It's tedious. I don't want to catch all these ugly, nasty things. I just want to catch the ones I like.
I wish we could hack the game so that you could have 1,000,000 Master Balls.
We already hacked the game, so I have a Mewtwo.
That wasn't hack, technically. It's borderline. I mean,
It is
technically.
the gray area.
So the Mewtwo is legitimate. The way we got him is maybe not.
Anyway, yeah. Our challenges that we set, you're doing way better than I am, and I'm not going to catch them all. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with failing.
Yeah.
But the challenge of the game, I think it's pretty steady. Like, it's not too hard and it's not too easy. I think I am enjoying this game the most.
That's good.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. These games are harder than the previous ones. I know it might not feel like it right now, but they are like legitimately harder. And I think they meant to do that. Like the level curves are steeper.
I think I would notice that if I was using Pokemon of the correct levels.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sorry, it's the only way that I'm enjoying this game.
That's okay. I'm enjoying the trying to run through the game as fast as I can, even though I have to keep stopping to train up Pokemon. But it's so much easier now that I remember I have the Lucky Egg. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, is it so much easier. It's like cut my time by half almost.
Nice.
Yeah. The next games, Black and White 2, are actually harder.
Okay.
Like, they were the first Pokemon games ever to give me a legitimate challenge, other than
Nice.
Red and Blue because I was 9.
So the next game might take us a full year to get through.
It could be, yeah.
I like it.
I
I'm
mean-
not setting any boundaries or challenges for myself.
It might even take a whole year for us to get to the next games because we don't currently have one of
We'll
them.
find it, don't worry.
But something weird that they did with the next games is that once you beat the Elite Four, you could start a new game in both versions, and one of them would have an easy mode, and the other would have a hard mode.
After?
After you beat them once, which is super weird.
That's not fair. I want an easy mode always.
Well, we should very quickly beat them, and then you can play through easy mode.
Oh, no. I'm not going to play it again.
It is a weird decision for them to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you have to beat the game first, then you unlock the secondary mode, and only one of them has easy mode. The other has hard mode.
Weird.
Very weird.
I'm looking forward to it, but I am actually really excited for the last few weeks of this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're getting there.
Good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
We are approaching the end of these games. We're currently in the Relic Castle. And after that, we will go to Opelucid City, finish the 8th gym, and then it's on to the route to Victory Road.
Nice. Nice.
And did you notice on the town map that there's half the region left?
Yeah, because this week was the first week that I actually looked at the town map.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
All the rest of that, post-game.
No! Are we doing post-game then?
We can.
I guess we kind of have to, right?
We can, yeah. We might as well. We don't want to rush through to the end of Pokemon.
No.
Because once we run out of games, we're out of games. Generation 10 isn't out at the time of this recording.
It will be.
It will be one day.
It will
but
be.
It isn't yet.
Okay, maybe we'll do some post-game stuff.
Yeah, we might as well.
Might as well.
Dabble
We're
a little
here.
bit. Yeah, and at least see the namesakes of our games, which is White Forest and Black City.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
In your game, you have Black City. In my game, we have White Forest.
What? I'm playing Pokemon White.
Are you?
Yeah. What's happening right now? Am I?
Yeah, I think
Oh
you're
my
right. I think you're
gosh.
playing Pokemon White, but I couldn't remember which one had Black City and White Forest.
We'll find out.
It might be the namesake. I don't remember.
We will find out.
We will find out when we get there on the next time.
The next time.
Well, I had a few more things to talk about, but we can end it there.
We'll
for
tack
now.
it on to the next episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to our episode, our catch-up episode. We really appreciate your support. If you would like to connect with us, please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Route to Victory Road Podcast. And check out our Patreon for behind-the-scenes action, patreon.com/Route to Victory Road.
Thank you so much for being our friends this week. I don't have a quote
Nice.
this week,
Make up your
unfortunately.
own quote.
Be true to who you are,
And Pokemon.
and friends will appreciate the honesty.
And Pokemon.
And Pokemon. We will see you next time on the route to Opelucid City and on the route to Victory Road.